Hey guys, how are we doing? Crypto Insight UK here, bringing you back another YouTube video. Just want to say my thoughts and feelings with everyone who's involved in this horrendous crisis right now. It needs to stop. We don't need war. No one wants war. I'm going to try and stay away from my emotions and just report on finances for you guys. I find the whole situation very upsetting and difficult, and I can't imagine what it would be like to actually be involved. As I said, thoughts and feelings with everyone in the Ukraine and the innocents from Russia and the people who don't want to be involved from there too. But let's get into it. So, first off, looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has, with the American Open, really rallied in the last few hours. We're looking for a daily positive candle close above this $39,200-ish level. That's the thing we're going to look at for Bitcoin. If you look on the hourly, it's only in the last hour or two that we've really started to pump. Look, yeah, the candles are all broken on these charts, man. I'm going to show you in a minute. Like, how can you have two fat green candles like that next to each other? How can the first candle open down here even though it's just closed up here? I don't know. Anyway, that's what I'm seeing from Bitcoin. I'm going to show you some weird charts in a sec. But we want the daily candle close above where it is now would be perfect. I did think at some point there would be a rally in crypto. I think crypto answers all the problems that are being asked of the world right now, and I'll get into that in a second. So, what's happened? Russia have been cut from the SWIFT system, as far as I understand. The only thing that we can do is trade oil or gas. And I don't really understand how that works, but as far as I'm aware, the central bank from Russia can't trade forex, can't trade their reserve assets, and have chosen not to open the stock market today, which we're going to get into in a minute. But let's have a look what I think is important and why I think this could be a big orchestrated move from Vladimir Putin, and not just about the taking of Ukraine. I mean, it is about that, but not. I think that's just a narrative we get fed, and I think it's a true narrative. But I think there's way more going on behind the closed doors. Gold's at 1.2% today. In times of uncertainty, people move to safe havens or stores of value, which is like gold. When you have things like cutting a currency off from SWIFT, like a big power like Russia, people are going to be uncertain on the market. Put your money into gold, store of value. A lot of investors use this as a safe place when they're worried about cash or assets. They go to gold. So that's why you can see a rise today. We've got crude oil. As you can see today, it's down 1%, but we have had that steady increase. It's kind of in this channel still. As you can see here, just a quick drawing. Look, boom. Very quick drawing. It's not accurate at all, but like you can see the channel. Look. It's respecting that sort of uptrend. And then we've got the USD to Russian ruble is up 28% today, so the ruble's down massively. We're going to get into that as well. But then the main things to be watching out for right now in the S&P is down 1%. But again, I don't really understand the charts because we've got green candles, and unless it was supposed to open lower and it came higher, and the candle is not representing that right now. So let's get into what I think is going on here and why this could be an orchestrated plan from Russia. Russia's got the 5th largest gold reserve in the world at a value of about 630 billion. So this gold increase of 1.23% is roughly let's just quick maths it, is roughly a $8.5 billion day for Russia so far. Just on that premise of the gold reserves there. Russian oil suppliers, they are the 3rd biggest oil supplier in the world, and they supply about 5.1% of the world's oil. Yes, oil is down a little bit today, but as I said, it's on like growth curve, like a big growth curve from the dip that we had back in 2020. We are really ripping at the minute for oil. Obviously increasing again. Russia's the increase in demand should increase the price, and then in turn make Russia more wealthy. So you cut them off from the SWIFT system, but that makes people scared and go to gold. That makes Russia money. It also makes oil more scarce, again making Russia money. It's a very difficult situation to be in. We're going to talk about what Steve Hanke has said, if that's how you pronounce his name. Weaponizing the SWIFT international payment system might cut Russia off, but risks eroding the dollar-dominated global financial system. Indeed, it will give rise to alternative systems developed by China and Russia. Just another example of why sanctions are counterproductive. I mean, it's easy to say from behind your keyboard, Steve, so I appreciate your opinion, but what else can we do right now? You can't sit back and do nothing, and we have to make some kind of sanctions to show that war on innocent people is not acceptable. It's not acceptable. And what do? Do we get involved on a military level? I honestly want to leave the politics to the politicians and people making decisions for our country. I wouldn't want to be making that decision myself. It's a really tough decision to make, but we've got to do something, because nothing also has consequences as well. But again, we'll get into that in a different video. This is about crypto. Weaponizing the SWIFT international payment system. Yeah, I think the dollar is already quite heavily eroded. The grip that it had as a world reserve currency is slowly breaking. I don't think it's completely broken yet, and I think we're going to see a lot of weird and wonderful scenarios in the next few months. Not wonderful, wrong phrasing right now, but weird scenarios coming in the next few months. What choice did we have? Yes, they will they will search for alternative payment systems. We've already seen India said that they will trade with Russia already. The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, have all tested and used RippleNet at some point in the past, with proof of every single one using RippleNet and XRP at some point in the past. And I can find that for you in another video if that's something you'd want to see. But you can take my word for it, or you can look at the article that I published on Twitter where I talked about that as well. So is that something that could be an explored option? If you are America, you don't want Russia to be going to something like Bitcoin, although Bitcoin is now more trackable. You can see where the transactions are going. You can't stop the transactions. So you don't want to be... So cutting them out, like he said, away from the dollar isn't great. Where they're going to push them to, you want to be pushing them, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, to the XRP ledger. You get them on the XRP ledger. Yes, again, you can't stop them, but again, you can track. And there's a deal to be done with Ripple, an American-based crypto company who own 50% of the supply in an escrow, and you can surely be buying that back. That's one way to keep some control of a new financial system, which is coming. You can see it now. They've got SIPs, I think CIPS in China, which is the equivalent of like a SWIFT like counterpart opposition, but it will be moving to the blockchain. We know that China already using digital currency. I presume with Russia's gold buy-in that they will create a gold-backed stable coin, and they will need some way to settle across border. And I presume XRP has got to be in that mix. People saying, yeah, but if they did use the XRPL, Ripple would be able to impose sanctions. Yes, they would on their products like ODL, but not on the XRP ledger or XRP specifically. XRP ledger is a decentralized exchange. Anything can be bought and sold on there in a decentralized way. That's how crypto works. Next, we are going to look at this. Russia bans foreign clients from selling their securities effective immediately. So we've had all these sanctions to Russia today. Obviously, including the central bank not being able to spend reserve assets and not being able to trade cross-border. So Russia come out and say, okay, well, we're not selling any securities today to anyone around the world, basically meaning that all the American investments that have been made into Russian companies, nil. That's not worth anything anymore. You cannot take that money out because they will not be sold. So it's a big war here, guys, not just on foot, but also in banking. So Russia more than doubles its interest rate to 20% to halt ruble collapse and suspend stock trading. We just talked about that. So 20% interest now on cash if you keep it in the bank, if you're in Russia. And Russia says no stock trading on Monday. We've talked about that. I want to get onto that in a second. I hope you didn't see that title because I just want to talk about it in one sec. But very interesting to keep your eye on Bitcoin today. I think a lot of this points to the fact that we do need some kind of revolution in our financial system. I think that crypto and Bitcoin specifically at the minute could be a great answer. Easily transportable, is recognized value anywhere now in the world, and yeah, and that they're the two main reasons. It's liquid. There's liquidity. There's liquidity there right now. I think XRP is a better financial rail, but right now people are in need. And I think that this really highlights the need for a shake-up in our financial system in general. Then we have this from Will Clement. Game theory is very interesting. Curious to see if we see a push of CBDCs from Russia or China and adoption of Bitcoin by the West. This is basically what I've just talked about. Russian minister says we're working on a digital one world currency for trade. And if you're an XRP holder, you know what I think about that. Then we've got eBay to consider Bitcoin and Ethereum payments on the 10th of March. And if you're an XRP holder, 28th of February, which is today, is the deadline for expert discovery if we do not have any further extensions. So there, everything that I'm keeping my eye on today, guys. There's so much going on right now in the world, like I can't even explain to you. We really do need some kind of shake-up financially. It's happening. I didn't want it to happen with lives at stake. That's not what I ever would want, ever. It's insanity what's going on, but what is going to happen at the back of this, I honestly couldn't tell you. My hedges are with XRP always. Cryptocurrency, it just screams out for crypto. This whole situation screams out for crypto. I wouldn't be surprised to see an absolute explosion in crypto price when we start to see the market settle down a bit. Maybe for today and tomorrow will be a bit shaky until we start to see sanctions, and as long as things don't escalate, and then after that I think we could see a big explosion because it screams out for crypto in my opinion. I'd love to know what you guys think. I've actually recorded this video 4 times now, so I don't even know what I've said in this recording and not in the last ones. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's an insane day. Gonna keep my eyes on the charts, and just everyone please just stay safe and share some love with each other. And let's see what happens, guys. I feel a few weeks ago, if someone had said to me, will XRP be the reserve currency of the world? I wouldn't have said yes, even though I am a massive XRP fan. I thought it was too much of a conspiracy. But now with the BRICS nations and the research that I've done recently, I don't think you're far off if you think something like that. There's definitely something happening, guys. And I think it's something bigger than we all expect. And basically every move that we make is strengthening Russia. What can we do? We need China going to make a move on Taiwan? Are we going to see other countries that are less stable think, okay, well, if the West aren't doing anything, now's our chance to do something? North Korea, we're going to see Iran. I don't want to suggest any of these things. I'm not an expert in geopolitics, guys. I just think that something big's shaking right now. And will we see cyber attacks is another thing. One last thing I will say to you guys, get your crypto off exchanges. If I'm ever going to tell you to do that, get it in a bloody hardware wallet right now. Get it in there. Don't take any chances. Yeah, you might be earning interest. We are in such a volatile space right now. Do I think anything will happen in terms of will you lose your crypto on exchanges? I don't know. I don't think so, but I wouldn't take the chance. If I was Russia and I was looking to move towards crypto with all the regulations they've just put into place, Russia, India, China, we've seen regulations quite everywhere. I know that China banned, but they've got their CBDC. We've seen Russia, South Africa, China, Brazil, all these countries putting their regulations out, pushing things through Congress. Literally, in Russia, they legalized cryptocurrency the day before the invasion. If I was going to hack anything and I was going to use crypto as a new reserve currency or some currency in some way, I'd be hacking foreign cryptocurrency exchanges personally. That's what I'd be doing. So that's why I'd take your crypto off exchanges. With that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Peace up, A-Town down. Tell me what you want me to cover in the next one. There's so much to cover. Please stay up to date with my socials. I'm posting all the time right now. It's a mad space. But yeah, as I said, stay safe. Tell your family you love them, because now it's flipping important, and more than any other time, in my opinion. Peace up, A-Town down. As